Welcome back everyone to more creepy videos, and let's dive in.
In Colombia we don't say daddy. In Colombia we say papa.
The US is planning to put everyone into concentration camps. Let me explain. They're planning on putting everyone into 15-minute smart cities where everything will be monitored. They'll make it so that if you want to go anywhere beyond 15 to 20 minutes, you'll have to ask for permission. What you eat will be monitored. What you drink will be monitored. Where you go will be monitored. Who you go with will be monitored. What you do at home will be monitored. Everything. A former Silicon Valley engineer said this about smart cities. By giving them your data, you give them the ability to monitor and access your behavior, which can now be converted into a social credit score. That score is then used to determine what privileges you qualify for and which ones you don't in the new slave society. End quote. They're introducing it under the guise of protecting the environment, but they really just want you as their slave.
After 3 years of planning, city administration is presenting its vision to accommodate a population of 2 million people through 15-minute cities. 3 days of public hearings on the plan began at City Hall this morning. Shailen Skulski has more.
I'm here to express my concerns.
Shelley Motorshead is one of more than 70 speakers scheduled to be heard at City Hall. Over 3 days, councillors will hear from residents and representatives from the construction industry, childcare, community leagues, and students on administration's plan to deal with a growing population.
We are building a cohesive city with opportunities for local living.
Population is rapidly growing, and we have to be able to accommodate for that. Right now, the plans we have are kind of Frankenstein together over decades.
The 15 new district plans and corresponding bylaws will replace 54 existing planning documents dating back to the 1980s.
Our city is growing, and the more we can accommodate within existing infrastructure and existing neighborhoods, better it is for the taxpayers as well.
Administration says the goal is to accommodate 600,000 new residents in redeveloped areas, with 50% of all new home units added through infill. The plan also calls for half of all future travel to be done by transit, and for residents to access all their daily needs within 15 minutes. Not everyone supports the plan.
My understanding is that this means I will need to stay within my district to meet all my needs so that the city can meet its climate plan objectives.
I don't think Edmontonians can afford to be part of a renovation experiment of this size so quickly.
I think unfortunately a lot of the district plan in particular have been derailed by 15-minute cities, conspiracy theories, World Economic Forums, etc. At the end of the day, this is about land use.
Others were concerned about possible impacts on the River Valley, affordable housing, and called for stricter rules for developers. Approved policies will be reviewed this summer and could come into effect by fall. Shailen Skulski, CTV News, Edmonton.
Let's say you live in a 15-minute city, your daily necessities and services are all within a 15-minute walking distance, so there's no requirement for a car or transportation, and there's none given anyways. There is cameras on every corner of the city, and you were hoping to go on holiday, but you just found out that because of your social credit score, the one time of the year of being able to leave the city, you're no longer able to leave it because you went and bought some extra meat which didn't comply with the carbon footprint. How would you call that freedom and democracy?
I'm free.
There's a guy in Iowa got curious, why do the birds start chirping an hour before sunrise? He found out that chirping of the birds is a frequency that helps open up the plant cells, stomata, on the bottom of the leaf, and it lets the plant start breathing in the morning. It helps it's the alarm clock. It wakes the plant up. He found out that frequency is found in classical music quite a bit. So he started playing classical music to his cornfields. His neighbors thought, he's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal, until his corn grew 15 feet tall. And they said, what channel was that you're playing? When he played the music to his squash plants, they produced 5 squash per leaf instead of 1. He played it to his black walnut tree, and it grew twice as fast as normal, called Sonic Bloom. Combination of vitamins for the plant and special frequencies to open up the stomata. Dr. Mori in Tokyo started raising a tomato plant under pressurized carbon dioxide, so I've heard, and filtered sunlight. He blocked out the UV light. His tomato plant grew a little faster than normal, and it kept growing and growing and growing, and they said, wow, this thing's getting bigger. After 2 years, it had produced 900 tomatoes and was 16 feet tall. They moved it to a shopping center, built scaffolding to hold up the branches, and it kept growing and growing. They said they took it to Expo 85 and said this plant might produce 10,000 tomatoes.
Studies have shown time and time again that frequency through classical music like Mozart or Beethoven does actually have healing properties, and so because our bodies are made up of 90% water, we also benefit from that. But when we start listening to things like pop or Nicki Minaj, for example, or frequencies from 5G or just our Wi-Fi in general, then what kind of damage does that do to us internally?
What's the half full, man?
You are?
What's the half full?
5G, bro.
What if I told you we're not really in 2024, but actually in 1727? That's the eerie claim of the phantom time hypothesis. This theory suggests around 300 years of history were fabricated. In the late 20th century, historian Heribert Illig proposed that the early Middle Ages, 614 to 911 AD, never happened. He argues that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII concocted this phantom period to legitimize Otto's rule. Architectural anomalies, inconsistent records, and the suspiciously convenient creation of the Gregorian calendar add fuel to this mind-bending theory. Share with a friend who'd find this fascinating.
The question I have here is, regardless if it's 2024 or 1524 or 2224, what relevance does that have, and does it really make any difference?
Have you ever heard of Plum Island? A seemingly innocent place with a hidden past? Nestled off the coast of New York, this island was established in 1954 as a research facility by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Its original purpose? To study animal diseases with the noble aim of protecting America's livestock. Yet as the years rolled by, whispers of unusual activities began to surface. But beneath its innocuous exterior, something more sinister was brewing. Stay tuned as we unravel the veiled truth of Plum Island. In the late 1970s, whispers of unusual occurrences on the island began to circulate. Rumors of dark and clandestine happenings turned heads and raised eyebrows. The small, unassuming Plum Island off the coast of New York started drawing attention, not for its tranquil beauty, but for what was potentially hidden beneath its surface. Stories of biological experiments, creatures of the night, and unexplainable phenomena began to emerge. The island, home to a government animal disease center, became the epicenter of numerous conspiracy theories. People started connecting the dots when the Lyme disease outbreak happened in the year 1975, not too far from the island. Could it be a coincidence, or was there more to the story? The theories multiplied, the rumors spread, and the mystery of Plum Island deepened. Then the turn of the millennium brought with it a revelation that sent a shiver down the spine of every conspiracy theorist. And then, in 1999, a truly chilling discovery was made. In 1999, a strange creature washed up on the shores of nearby Montauk, sparking a media frenzy. Dubbed the Montauk Monster, its connection to Plum Island stirred waves of speculation, igniting the curiosity of skeptics and believers alike. To this day, the true nature of the Montauk Monster remains a mystery. Plum Island has been shrouded in mystery and controversy for decades. The debate rages on, is this a hub of crucial scientific research or a clandestine lab for bioweaponry? The government maintains its stance, but suspicion lingers. So, what do you think? Is Plum Island a place of scientific research or a breeding ground for bioweaponry?
They say that Lyme disease was never studied on Plum Island, but that's what they say. And in terms of yourselves, I mean, do you believe that, the Montauk Monster originated from Plum Island? And do you also think biological warfare and hybrids came from Plum Island?
Now just imagine renting an Airbnb home and finding yourself in the creepiest of situations ever. From haunted places to secret dungeons and invasive homeowners, there are loads of videos of people who come face to face with the most bizarre situations ever.
Okay, we have a...
Such as Lauren Gray, a famous TikToker who rented an Airbnb, and this happened.
We're staying in an Airbnb, and just a normal mirror. This is the bathroom. This is the main bathroom.
While staying at an Airbnb, Lauren realizes that the mirror in her bathroom isn't just a mirror.
Bruh, this is okay. Look at this. Towel on the floor. For what?
It's actually a secret entrance to a hidden room. And this is what she finds inside.
Come in. Come in. What is this? What is that? What is this?
Inside the room she finds a towel, underwear, a pair of gloves, and a chain as if this is some sort of torture room. And the creepiest thing about this is the fact that the only entrance to this hidden room is through the bathroom mirror. So what's going on here? But there's more. In a video recently posted by Louisa and her family, they traveled to Pigeon Forge, a place in the Appalachian Mountains. Now in this particular case, the house was beautiful and all that, but when they went to sleep at about 3 a.m. in the morning, her brother was woken up by what he believes to be a huge hand pressing against his chest.
Yo siento una presión en mi pecho, una mano grande, más o menos de aquí hasta acá, que me abrazó. Yo pensé que era mi cuñado o las niñas despertándome, algo había pasado. Cuando me di cuenta que no había nadie conmigo, me entró un escalofrío por todo el cuerpo y yo empecé a gritar auxilio, auxilio, auxilio.
He wakes up to some sort of demonic entity pressing against his chest. So when he gets up, this thing picks him up and throws him down the stairs. This is when his sister wakes up and thinking it's a burglar or an animal, she calls 911. And this is what happens.
Papi, mire a ver si de pronto fue un animal.
So is he hurt his neck, back?
At this point, the cops arrive and check the entire house. There's no one there. Then this is when her brother explains that it was possibly a demon or something like that. And to their surprise, they actually take him seriously. In the end, he's taken to the hospital for some stitches, but everything was fine after that except for the fact that they never went to that house again. But when it comes to creepy Airbnbs, it doesn't stop there.
Yeah?
The family had been renting an Airbnb for quite a while now, when all of a sudden a hidden door opens and this happens.
You're the people that I let the house to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, who are you?
I own the house. I'm Richard.
What are you doing? What a minute, yeah? Is that a... Where's your trousers? Where's your trousers?
If it's not inconvenient right now, I'd like to use the bathroom.
Excuse me, we've rented this house from you.
Yeah, well, any problems?
It seems the owner of the Airbnb had been using the house in a secret dungeon of his for all this time without them knowing.
You might have noticed, actually, that because I bring all my plates out after dark, use the kitchen. But,
so hold a minute, yeah. Whilst we're sleeping, yeah, you're going out in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I've got to put my dirty plates out there, and you might have noticed after midnight. There might be a bit of creaking on the stairs because it's me using the toilet. This is my little dungeon. I call it my dungeon.
How creepy is this? Don't forget to watch the rest of the video on my YouTube channel. And have you ever gone through such a situation?
Both of these stories are creepy. I mean, if I had a choice between being attacked by a demonic spirit or witnessing a man coming out from a hidden bookcase and doing his dishes while we're sleeping and using the toilets, I would gladly take the demonic spirit attacking me quicker.
Jack, who were you touching earlier? What was her name? Your mom?
If this content is right up your alley, subscribe because I upload every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Seriously confused on since when did throwing a beehive on somebody's face become a prank? And this is not the first video that I've watched like this. And what makes it worse is this nigga was asleep. Like, just imagine you waking up with 1,000 flu shots on your neck. And y'all see how long that I've been recording this video? Yeah, they still stinging his ass. And after I recovered, I would have did his ass so egregious that I would have remixed YNW Melly's song. Wake up from a bee sting, I got murder on my mind. Bzz, 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 is the reason that you dying. Type shit. And what make this even worse is his devious ass laugh and cartoon character evil villain creep. Bro literally looks like he is up to no good at all. And I'm not gonna lie to you, my action would have been equivalent to the reaction. Waking up with a face full of bees is the equivalent to me locking you in a cage with a tiger and a lion. Yeah, you go slapbox them for your life. Let me record that. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts.
There's pranking someone and there's disrespecting someone, and this is clearly disrespect. I mean, if that happened to me, I would give the person a choice of the hospital or the graveyard.
In August 1993, in the remote wilderness of the Altai Mountains in Siberia,
a group of 7 experienced hikers led by Lyudmila Korovina embarked on an expedition that would end in tragedy. On August 5th, 6 of the hikers were found dead under eerie and perplexing conditions. The bodies were discovered in various states of distress. Some of the victims had blood coming from their noses and mouths, while others showed signs of extreme physical exertion and terror. The solitary survivor, Valentina Utochenko, was discovered in a state of shock. She described how the group was suddenly struck by an inexplicable sense of panic, leading to irrational behavior and physical collapse.
It sounds eerily similar to the Dyatlov Pass incident, and if I'm not mistaken, that was in Russia as well. So you've got 2 groups of hikers from like 40 years apart. It makes you wonder if Russia is trying to hide something.
In the video, you can see that how people are shocked to see this baby who was born as an alien. Now let us tell you the story behind this boy. This video is taken all the way from Bihar, where a woman delivered this baby who looked like an alien. If you look at the back of his head, you can surely see that there is some hair on the back of his head, which gives a proof that this is a human baby. But this is surely a scientific miracle, that how a baby could be born something like this. In the video, you can hear people screaming in amaze, saying that how could such a baby be born?
Clark designed the synchrometer to locate and identify toxins, parasites, viruses, and bacteria. And she created the zapper to kill them.
Here is a synchrometer, which is a circuit together with this resonance box, which can analyze your tissues without going into you to see what is there. And it is just a 1 transistor oscillator. It's a very simple little circuit that you see in many other larger circuits. But it is so simple that I would like people to be able to make this. And that's why I have the instructions for it in the books. The resonance box is attached to it. This is where you put your samples. You would put a sample of your body on one plate and a sample of the item you're testing for on the other plate.
Michael McElray is a nutritional consultant and a personal trainer.
What Dr. Clark said, and what she's already talked about, is that parasite and pollution is basically causing disease. And when we say parasite, what we're really talking about is microorganism. The virus is inside the bacteria. The bacteria is inside the parasite. And in fact, we've even found that mold is inside the parasite, and certain funguses are inside the parasite. And this isn't something new, and this isn't just theory. This has all been proven. What's really interesting is how these parasites and different microorganisms found their way into the body. And what Dr. Clark has proven is that the immune system over the last few years has been depressed. If we don't have stomach acid that could kill these harmful bacteria, then these things will crawl through the body and take over the biological terrain at will. What Dr. Clark's proven is that these parasites that normally are killed by the stomach acid are now crawling through the body because we went down to the local drugstore and we picked up the Alka-Seltzer because we were suffering from acid indigestion. What was that? Well, what it was is we were eating food that properly couldn't be digested. And we were eating too much food that's deficient in enzyme. And I'm not talking about theory here. I'm talking about practical ideas that have already been proven. When we overcook food, we kill the enzymes. When we kill the enzymes, we ask our stomach acid to do the job for us. In doing that and over-processing our food, we've reduced our stomach acid. Hydrochloric acid is our first level of defense, which is now missing. The second level of defense, which seems to be more frightening, is that once the parasites are inside the body, the liver has been given the capability to, as a second shot, to kill these microorganisms. Now, when the liver accumulates aflatoxin, which she has identified as patulin mold, which we find on many fruits, especially grapes and apples and pears, and it's the brown spot that we see in the fruit, then what we see is the liver gets chronically weak. And at that point, what she discovered using her synchrometer, which we'll talk about, she's actually found that the weakness caused by the aflatoxin and the patulin mold has actually allowed certain other chemicals to weaken the liver even further, including alcohol. Believe it or not, people that don't drink alcohol still have alcohol in their body because alcohol is a natural byproduct of the fermentation of fruit. So if you're eating a tremendous amount of rotten fruit, which you may not know because your banana just had a brown spot, or you ate your actual mold and your fungus, once that's in the liver, it loves a dark, cold place. And 98.6 degrees is fairly cold for mold. It'll grow like a petri dish in your liver. Once it starts to grow and alcohol becomes a byproduct, we now have a depressed immune system in the liver. Parasites can now take over your biological terrain. And what we used to think, and what Dr. Clark has now proven, is that parasites used to live only in the colon, according to many scientists and researchers. Well, what she's now discovered is that these parasites are crawling through the body at will. And this is a very frightening thought, because if parasites, their eggs and larvae, are crawling through the body, then they're also seeking out tissues that are extremely nutritious to them, which is the brain, which is the heart, which is the liver, and other body parts, that once these body parts are invaded by parasites, other diseases will follow, as you've pointed out. And Dr. Clark found that the one real dangerous parasite is the Fasciolopsis buski. It's a fairly large parasite, and it's actually hosted in the snail. Any research that you look up in the library says that the Fasciolopsis buski is found in snails in China. What Dr. Clark did is she sent around the world for samples of snails. She then took the snail and she found a specific chemical toxin in the snail called orthophosphotyrosine. Every time she found the presence of orthophosphotyrosine, she found the Fasciolopsis buski in the snail that she brought in from Alaska, from northern Ontario in Canada, from Colorado, from California, from New York. Guess what? The snail is everywhere on the planet. It's crawling on your garden. It's crawling up the side of your house. And that friendly little snail is carrying the Fasciolopsis buski in all of its stages inside of its body, which is really harmless when you look at the big picture, until the cow eats the snail or its stages off the grass, and then the Fasciolopsis is now in the cow, and when we drink the milk or we eat the beef or the pig or the sheep, we're actually eating the parasite stages. And to make it a little bit more dangerous, when you start spraying your lawn with sheep manure or cow manure, or you start using these types of manures in organic gardens, you now have a second problem. You're actually putting animal feces on your food, and we're eating it. Because there's no way, Tony, to properly wash all of our food to the extent that we really need to. Now, up until the last few years, we've been able to depend on our stomach acid to kill this parasite. But now with the addition of isopropyl alcohol, which Dr. Clark has proven can accumulate in the liver if the aflatoxin in the mold is there, the Fasciolopsis is now able to hatch in the liver and then run through the body at will and seek out a tumor site, and at that point it will have a metabolic byproduct that she's found to be orthophosphotyrosine, and when that's present 100% of the time.
Nearly everything, nearly all the produce has dirt on it. How could it be otherwise? It was grown in the soil. You can't sterilize them. So the dirt that's on them has parasite eggs and, well, eggs primarily, on it. All different kinds. Roundworms, flatworms, anything you can think of that lives in dirt or is spread through dirt, namely has had animal leftovers in it, is on the food. It's cleaner than if you had just pulled it up, of course.
This is a new fear unlocked for me because of now knowing how parasites actually accumulate and invade once in the body. It takes me back to the video I shared with you guys a few months back where a guy was talking about how tumours and parasites correlate to one another. And also when you think about deficiencies like B12, for example, I mean, is it the sole cause of parasites taking our nutrients? And so because our body's starving from that, it's causing us to have these deficiencies and diseases? I mean, there's so much to go into here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear the sound of your own voice?
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Oh, my God, Doctor, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thanksgiving's in 2 days, and I can call you on your cell phone now, baby, and you can talk to my dad about his head.
Whoa, are you okay? Is that too loud?
No, not too loud. The boy that's annoying. You don't hear that? I have to hear this forever.
Don't be silly, baby.
Oh, there we go again, Doc. You know why this guy's smiling? Because he's probably deaf and he can't hear his wife's voice. Doc, please take it off. Help me, please.
Relax.
Help me.
This is a celebration. Trust me, from one married man to another, you'll get used to it.
I don't believe any word that came out of your mouth.
I need to step back so I can get some movement. It's in his head. It's in your forehead.
Take it out of your forehead.
If you enjoy the clips from this video, smash that like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you again on the next video. But until then, much love and take care.